Hi, welcome back to Creative Originals by Roxine. Today we're going to learn how to doodle a Valentine heart. Some of the supplies that you'll need will be a 4x4-inch smooth surface heavyweight type of cardstock, a sharp pencil, a white eraser, and a permanent India ink pen. I recommend those over Sharpies. They will work better for you. So to begin with, you want to draw the outline of a heart. Excuse me. It can be any size heart that you want. It can be any shape of a heart that you want. You can make it a little bit more interesting by maybe curving the heart just a little differently. Then what you do, you want to go ahead and draw various lines within the heart and separate it into sections. Like so. You'll want it to have different varying shapes and sections within it. We're going to be using a Faber-Castell Pitt pen. These are permanent, they're waterproof, and archival proof. Next, you just want to follow the outline with your pen all the way around the perimeter of the heart and all the lines. So once you get that finished, then we'll move on to the next step. You can pause the video while you do that. Now be sure you just fill in all the inside lines as well. Turn your paper different directions in order to make it easier for you to follow your pencil lines. Like so. Now you can see what I mean. All the outlines are done and all the inside lines are done. So that's what you should have done at this point. Next, we're going to start on the outer perimeter, and I'm going to do these little odd-shaped leaves or petals all the way around the heart. I'll do larger and then smaller, and I'll vary those all the way around. These little feathers or leaves all the way around our heart. I'm adding a few more diagonal lines just to give the inside of the heart some more separation and more parts in order to add more doodling to make it more interesting. So once you've determined what type of doodle you would like to do, just pick a section within the heart and start doodling it. This first section we're using kind of a swirl design, little doodle, and I'm using my Pitt pen, my Faber-Castell Pitt pen, and I'm using it in probably an extra small nib. That way I can get a thinner design drawn into the area and not so thick. I like to use extra small and small nibs quite often. Here you can see that I'm adding the center vein all the way around the leaves or the petals. We've got the swirls in the one section, and then we have to determine what type of doodle we're going to do in the next area. There's a little bit of a wavy line that goes across the heart. What I'm doing here is called echoing, and I will just echo and repeat this design all the way down this triangular section. Here I'm just drawing small, random, different size circles within this squared area in the heart. Make them small, medium size, tiny, whatever, and just fill all that in with some small circles. Once you've drawn the circles, you might take an eraser and erase some of the pencil marks that you see. Use a white eraser. They do very well and are a clean erase. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to add another detailed design in one of the other sections. I decided to do some lines through this next section. You can eyeball it and try to make them as even, or they can be uneven, it doesn't matter, but just go ahead and finish out this section with your horizontal lines. Then you're going to come back and try to even it up and do vertical lines and divide all of that section back up into equal areas. Now we need to decide how we're going to fill in these squares. I decided to do diagonal crosses through each square. That does take a little bit of extra time to do, but I think the look is really attractive. So I just start at one corner and go diagonally across, and I just follow that all the way down the rows, and I repeat that all the way down, turn it around and do the opposite direction all the way down, and that's how I get the crisscross across these squares. As you can see, it does take a little bit of time and a steady hand, but it is a nice effect once you're finished. Now that's attractive. I like that. Next, we're going to do some V-shaped cross connections. I think in the Zentangle world, this is called a Betweed. That could be incorrect. I think that's what that's called. You just start at the bottom, come up and widen and connect, and you repeat that all the way down. When you're finished, just fill in the bottom area solid, and that completes that. Next, we're going to do another Zentangle design. I'm pretty sure it's coined a Mooka, and that is one of the certified Zentangle designs. And as you can see, it's a fairly continuous design. You don't really lift your pen up, you just keep following it around and make the little loop and the curve and come back again, one within the other. It's an attractive little design. It has its place. There's some places where I don't particularly like it, but then I think here this will look nice. And you can fill some of that in later. Here I'm doing infinity loops, and I so apologize. I didn't realize I had pulled my paper down too far. It will come up here in just a moment, so I apologize for that. And that's just like infinity loops, you know, that I'm making here, and I'll come back later and put a few little detailed dots on that as well. Here we're going to add about 5 lines at an angle, and then I'll find the corner and I will do the same thing at a slant at a different angle and make 5 more lines until I basically look like I have a cross hatching or a fence line. And you can see how that will pan out here in just a moment. It's another nice look. This is coming along very nicely. You can see where these spaces are being filled in with all the types of doodles, and it just adds interest and dimension to the heart. The next design is going to be on that upper left triangle area, and I think it's going to be a little bit of a meandering type of design. This is the design that's used in a lot of quilting stitching. I particularly like it, and I think it looks very attractive. Now we're coming up a line and just making left and right petals, and we'll add a leaf to the right of that, and that's another interesting effect for the design. Kind of fill in the leaf there and darken it a little bit, and I added some polka dots within that negative space area. this section, we're just adding hearts. Just going to make sure there's little hearts just all over this little area here. After all, it is a heart, so we might as well have some doodle hearts within the heart. Now we can come back in and we can actually fill those hearts in and darken them. That will make those pop instead of being too light. One, two, three, four, 5 more sections to do. I think in the next section we're just going to kind of put a little wavy line to divide our little fern that we drew, and then fill in this next area with little half moon shapes and lines. When drawing these, be sure to fill in the half moon and echo the half moon in a curved line, not a straight line. It's coming along nicely and looking very attractive. Next, I'm going to use the medium pit pen, and I'm going to just do thicker dots in around another triangular space, and I would just fill all of that in with small round dots. The next section, I'm doing again some horizontal lines, and then I'm just drawing some vertical lines and just separating them out and maybe alternating the rows and just adding another little dimension with just some doodling. Adding some more dots with my thicker pen. The nib makes a difference. It will make a little bit thicker, darker, bolder dot. In this section, I'm just doing some little odd shapes, you know, and I kind of disperse them here or there, and then I'll go back in and put little dots in those, kind of like a spotted cow effect. Here I've decided to go back in and fill in the little paisleys that I put in the mookas and darken that area a little bit. It seemed a little too light. So as you study your design with your doodling, you can add other little things anywhere there's a little space, just to add some more detail and interest. One last section to fill in, and I think I'll do kind of a half triangle and then a straight line, and come back in and darken the area of the half triangle, and maybe then come back and dot it with a little bit of white. This last space, we'll just add a small star. Then I'll go back with a white gel pen, and I'll probably put some little dots on a lot of my solid black areas. So kind of watch with that. Please take the time to subscribe to my channel. Also take the time to like my channel and give me a thumbs up. Hope you like this video. I am new at this. It is taking a little bit of time for me to make sure I do things correctly, and some things I do have a few glitches with, and I'm still trying to figure out. As you can see here, I'm also filling in and around the circles and filling in the negative space with a darker color. That's just to make those circles pop there just a little bit more. Well, anyway, thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up, like my channel, and subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye.